So I finally got a chance last week to try out Battlerite Royale, but is this game actually different enough to set itself apart from all the hundreds of Battle Royale games that keep coming out of the woodwork, or is it just too little too late? Let's talk about this. Hey everybody, what's going on? If you're new to this channel, we do early access reviews, game reviews, tech reviews, and pretty much anything nerd related on a regular basis. So if you could, please think about giving that subscribe button a click, as well as that bell icon so you can be sure to know anytime me or Nathan upload videos. Thanks. Hey everybody, what's going on? Brandon here, and this is Battlerite Royale. Now this game actually released today, September 26th, in Steam Early Access. It is a paid Early Access, so if you want to get access to it before it comes out of Early Access, which they said would be like 6 months, you've got to pay to get into it. But I was actually able to get into the beta last week and try it out, which I was actually really excited about because I'm a huge fan of Battlerite. So I was really interested when I heard they were making this to at least try it out because I thought it could be something really different. So I'm just going to kind of run through some of this video and give you my thoughts on the way they've handled it so far and what they've done and what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Now this game actually does set itself apart from other Battle Royale games quite well, actually. Obviously, it's a top-down perspective. You choose from a set of champions rather than having just a static character that you can upgrade throughout the match. So the character you choose to play as definitely does define your playstyle going forward into the match, which is a huge difference. I mean, it kind of reminds me a lot of the way Paladin's Battlegrounds was, and even Realm Royale when you had the actual classes and you could build your style around your class rather than the way they've gone with Realm Royale now, where it's basically just a Fortnite clone. Now, obviously, when you're dealing with classes and heroes, there's going to be balance issues, just like there is in any game like this. But Stunlock's handling it pretty well. I wouldn't say it's too fairly unbalanced, other than if you choose somebody that's ranged and has a lot of mobility, or has a lot of movement speed, they are going to have a huge advantage right out the gate, at least. Now, that advantage kind of dwindles down the later into the game you get as the map gets smaller, and you don't need to close as much distance, and the melee attackers can get a lot stronger. So in-game melee attackers can do really well, but you've got to survive through the initial beginning part of the game, and there's where the ranged attackers with high mobility strive, because you can pretty much just pick everybody off and run away from them and keep hitting them, and they can't really do anything about it, especially early on. So I don't know if they got plans on trying to balance that back out. I'm hoping so, because I did find there's a very distinct advantage over range and mobility, and that's because Battlerite's maps are so much smaller than this map. This map is really big. There's not really a lot of corners you can back somebody into, so definitely there's some balance issues. Nothing too bad. I think they can work it out. I don't think it's really anything that's going to hinder the development of the game anytime soon, but just something to look into if you do go to play this. Definitely the people with mobility and range right now are going to have a major advantage early on in the game. And the loot system in this is pretty straightforward. It reminds me a lot of early Realm Royale. Rather than chests, they're orbs, and you got to break the orbs open. The different colors of orbs usually determines what kind of gear is in there. Some have better gear than others, and there's also the orbs that you have to stand next to for a certain amount of time for them to unlock. And then once they unlock, they usually drop some really good gear, which is awesome because it makes for something kind of fun. If you're sitting there trying to unlock a chest, or you see somebody trying to unlock a chest, you can, circle around and try to kill them as they're trying to unlock it, and you can kind of take somebody off guard, or somebody can take you off guard. It makes for a really interesting concept, but it's pretty straightforward, nothing too extreme or too different. It's pretty much the same kind of system we've seen in several other Battle Royale games now. The top-down perspective does make it interesting. Now, as most of you know, I did a video a while back on a game called Survival Heroes, which is similar to this. It's not really hero-based. You find weapons, and your weapon determines your class and abilities throughout the game. But other than that, it plays almost very much like this. But the top-down perspective has always been really interesting to me in the whole Battle Royale thing. I always wondered early on why nobody had done it, and it works really well for this game. And actually, the way you drop onto the map works even better in this game than it did in Survival Heroes. Now, in Survival Heroes, when you dropped, after you got so close to the ground and, went to parachute or whatever, the map would actually shift and change depending on your camera angle, because once you land, the map has to look a certain way. With Battlerite, it's really smooth and fluid. You don't notice anything. You drop off this really cool dragon and land. The one thing I don't like is you can kind of see where people are on your mini-map, while you're walking around, if they're within so much distance of you, you can tell where somebody is. That is something I don't like. I don't like that you can see where people will be on your minimap. That's, you know, maybe they decided to go a different route with this, and they wanted people to be able to get an advantage over people that weren't paying attention to their minimap, which I could see. But I'm not really a fan of being able to see somebody on my minimap in a Battle Royale game. I'm not. One cool thing this game's got that other Battle Royale games don't have, and I really enjoy it with this, is the AI mode. And a lot of people might think that's stupid, but it works really well for this game because there's so many different champions with so many different abilities, and being able to play against AI characters to figure out your abilities, to figure out what your gear does, to figure out what this does at this level, how you can do this, and just to work on different techniques with these heroes, especially if you've not played Battlerite. If you've not played Battlerite at all, you're going to want to play this AI mode to learn these characters, because I've played Battlerite, but I've not played with all of them, so some of the newer characters that I was trying to play with, I had no clue what I was doing. So seeing that there is an AI mode, it works out really well and gives you a place to practice and try out these heroes and these champions so that you actually know what you're doing when you go into a live match, which is awesome. Not a lot of Battle Royale games, I don't think really any, have done this and given you the option to practice really in an environment that, you know, can consider you winning. So I think it's a really good idea that they had this in there. I think it was really smart. Now, optimization, it was pretty decent. I didn't really have too many issues. The biggest issue I had was it would crash sometimes in between matches, going back to the main menu or going into a match. It would just randomly crash. I did notice there were some other people complaining about that, and they even say when you go to boot up the game through Steam, it says if you're experiencing crashes, take it from DirectX 9 to DirectX 11 to DirectX 9. So I'm thinking it's a DirectX 11 issue. And I was playing on Windows 10, and yeah, I got crashes every once in a while. It wasn't too bad. It did never do it like mid-game while I was actually playing a match. It always did it as I was getting ready to jump in or after I was coming out of a match. So nothing too bad. When it comes to performance, though, it got a steady frames per second. I didn't notice any hitching. It wasn't eating a ton of resources. So optimization-wise, I mean, it plays pretty much like Battlerite does, which is already really optimized. So there wasn't really any issue there, optimization or bug-wise. But I'm not really sure this paid early access is a good idea, and I think it actually might really hurt the game. Because I'd reached out to him and told him this on Twitter. I didn't think it was a good idea to go this route because they said it was going to be for at least 6 months, and then when they got out of early access, they would go free to play. I actually suggested that I thought it would probably be a better idea to go free to play now and offer a $30 Founders Pack rather than a $20 buy-in for early access. And for a few reasons. Battlerite doesn't have a huge community anymore. It used to, but it's kind of dwindled down. The PR for this game has not been very good. They've not done a lot of marketing for it. I mean, it's not really been bad PR. It's just they've not really done a lot of PR for it. They've not really done a whole lot of marketing for it. And unless you got a chance to play in the beta like I did, a lot of people are going to go into this blind and not really know whether or not they want to spend $20 to play this game, and that's an issue. I think, would I spend $20 on this game? Yeah, I think it's worth it, but that doesn't mean everybody else is going to think it's worth it, and that makes me hesitant to buy. Because if I'm worried that people aren't going to spend the $20 to blindly play this game if they haven't had a chance to play it yet, I'm going to worry that the community is not going to be big enough to support the game for any longevity. So that's going to make me weary of buying the game for $20, which in turn makes the community smaller, and if the community is smaller, it doesn't have longevity. It's just a bad cycle. And making it to where people have to blindly pay the $20 in order to try this game if they weren't able to get into the beta is just a bad idea in general, because you risk alienating a lot of the community that would want to try this game but are a little bit nervous or hesitant about trying the game, in which case your community will be small, more people will be hesitant the smaller the community is, and then you more than likely will end up having to crash the game out before you actually make it the 6 months. I mean, Battle Royale is starting to wear down on everybody. A lot of people are getting tired of it. And as different as this game is and as fun as this game is, I just don't see it being able to hold longevity enough for 6 months to come out of early access and then go free to play. And that worries me, because I see where Battlerite is right now, and it's not really in a good position. It's got a very small community now. I think it would get a lot more traction and probably make a lot more money if they went with a free-to-play model now and a $30 Founders Pack, which allowed you to get, a new mount or a new all the champions I think that would be the way to go. I do. I think they would make more money. I think the community would be much bigger. And when you have a lot of people playing the game, you're going to draw more people into playing the game. The more people you draw in, the more people will buy the Founders Pack. But if you're limiting the people that can actually play by only letting people play that have bought into the game, then the people will see a small community playing the game and they won't want to buy the Founders Pack, which in turn makes the game, lose community and not really take on with longevity. But all in all, the game is fun. It is enjoyable. It's a good time. I'm probably going to go ahead and risk it and get the game because I did enjoy it. I do think it's fun. And $20 isn't too big of a risk to lose if the game doesn't take off. So I'm going to probably go ahead and buy it and sink some time into it. I don't know yet. I haven't really fully made up my mind. I do like it. I do enjoy it. I think it is fun. I just, in my eyes, honestly think going the route they're going with handling it with the buy-in to early access for 6 months, I just think that's a bad idea. But, I could be wrong. A ton of people could buy this game, and it could end up blowing up, and in 6 months it could go free to play, and I'll be eating my words. But I just, in my honest opinion, I just don't see that happening. But we'll see. It is a fun game, and it is really enjoyable. If you get a chance to try it out in any way, shape, or form, I do recommend trying it out. Especially if you have not played Battlerite, because I think it would also bring more players over to Battlerite that have not played it already, which is another reason I thought they should have gone free to play with this, to bring more players over to Battlerite. But that's all the time I got for this video, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like this video and you want to see more, please click that red subscribe button. If you want to know anytime Nathan or I upload videos, please click that bell icon, and I will see you guys next time.